the plot to attack a 9/11 memorial in the Midwest as the country prepares to mourn the thousands of lives lost during the attacks 14 years ago.
And a short-term solution, the future of Exelon's power plant in the Quad Cities and how it will impact hundreds of workers.
Live from WQAD, this is News 8's Good Morning Quad Cities.
Good morning and welcome. It is Friday, September 11th. I'm Julie Sisk.
I'm Jonathan Ketz. Thanks for joining us, kicking off week 3 of the high school football season right now.
Yeah, every Friday we're visiting a different high school to show off their school spirit. In our pregame pep rally this morning, Eric Sorensen is live at Bettendorf High School.
The Mummies.
Yeah, so
is the 14th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks, and this morning, national security officials are urging law enforcement across the country to be on alert after investigators say a man was plotting to attack a 9/11 memorial. We have the new details right here on Good Morning Quad Cities. Prosecutors say 20-year-old Joshua Goldberg of Florida taught a confidential source how to make a pressure cooker bomb similar to the one used at the Boston Marathon. They say he also told the informant to place the bomb at a memorial in Kansas City, Missouri, commemorating the anniversary of the attacks. He's now facing up to 20 years in prison.
Troubling that we have people out there willing to do this. Good news is law enforcement is really doing the job.
Law enforcement officials have warned about how hard it is to keep track of every potential lone wolf terrorist, with ISIS reaching thousands of followers in the U.S. via social media.
Today, the country will honor the thousands of lives lost during those tragic attacks. Nearly 3,000 were killed when hijacked planes hit the World Trade Towers, the Pentagon, and a field in Pennsylvania in 2001. This morning, the families of those killed will gather at the Memorial Plaza in New York for a ceremony. Here in the Quad Cities, there will be an I Am Unity 9/11 benefit tribute concert at the iWireless Center tonight. That is at 7:30.
2 people were sent to the hospital after a shooting in West Davenport. It happened last night around 7. Police were called to the area of Van Buren Park. Police say they took several people in for questioning. There is no update on the conditions of the victims this morning.
Hundreds of area jobs are safe at least for another year. Exelon will now wait 1 year before making any decisions about the future of its Quad Cities plant. The company says it plans to continue operating the Cordova power plant through at least May of 2018. The company previously said it may shut down the plant due to financial problems. Recently, the plant cleared 2 energy auctions. This means the Quad City station now has contracts to sell electricity until 2018.
So we continue to keep an eye on the pricing, and we continue to see what the auction results are, and we're encouraged by those.
Exelon says it will continue to push for energy reform legislation in Springfield. Lawmakers did not act on Exelon's bill in the spring, and it's unclear whether it will get a hearing this fall with the state budget crisis.
The White House has awarded a $125,000 grant to an area anti-drug coalition to prevent youth substance abuse. The Comanche DeWitt Coalition works to prevent drug use in children, including prescription drugs, marijuana, tobacco, and also alcohol. Organizers work to bring together schools, businesses, and other community groups to help protect children from turning to drugs.
In Your Voice, Your Vote coverage this morning, presidential candidate Willie Wilson will be in the Quad Cities today. Wilson will be in Davenport, marking his 21st visit to Iowa in his campaign to win the Democratic nomination. Wilson will be the featured speaker at the Iowa NAACP annual banquet. It's at the Rogowski Center on St. Ambrose University campus. Tonight's event starts at 6 o'clock. Republican presidential candidate Scott Walker is making stops in the Quad City area during a 3-day trip across Iowa. This afternoon, Walker is scheduled to be in Maquoketa for a meet and greet, and then will travel to Grand Mound and Tipton.
Illinois Republican State Senator Darren LaHood has been elected to replace former Congressman Aaron Schock. LaHood, seen here on the left, defeated Democrat Rob Mellon 69 to 31% in the special election yesterday. Schock resigned in March after controversy over his spending. LaHood is the son of former Congressman Ray LaHood in the Central Illinois District, who also served as Transportation Secretary for 4 years in President Obama's administration.
Vice President Joe Biden appeared on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert last night and opened up about his late son, Beau, saying he was a humble man who didn't even have the name Biden on his military uniform.
He abhorred people who had a sense of entitlement. And he went the other way. I mean, he won the Bronze Star and came home and made us all promise that we wouldn't tell anybody he won the Bronze Star. No, my word. And when he went to an affair where Iraqi veterans were being honored, and he wouldn't put on his decorations.
Though Biden died of brain cancer in May at the age of 46.
Well, still ahead right here on Good Morning Quad Cities. The deadline for farmers to sign up for crop insurance is coming close. Ag in the AM is still ahead.
And pure comfort food. This morning, Chef Toby is working on a meaty, savory comfort food. It's a classic.
We're sponsored by Ace Muffler Clinic.
It's 6:09 right now, time for Total Travel, and this time we want to give you a live look and show you the traffic headed over the I-74 bridge. You can see a little light traffic moving right along in both directions. We do want to remind drivers, though, the Iowa-bound exit to State Street on I-74 is now closed. It's expected to reopen Monday night at midnight.
Now, meteorologist Eric Sorensen and Storm Track 8 weather, sponsored by Goods, America's furniture showplace.
So Eric's having fun this morning at Bendorf High School. A lot of school spirit out there.
Yeah, a lot of it.
Good Morning Quad Cities Ag in the AM is sponsored by Whiffles Hybrids.
Eric, thank you very much. Taking a look at corn futures right now. September, December, and March contracts are all unchanged. March contracts are trading at $3.85. And taking a look at soybeans now. September contracts up 2 pennies. November and January contracts are up a penny. January contracts are trading at $8.78. Also on Ag in the AM today, in the Farm Bill passed last year, a new safety net program was formed, and for a year, farmers have been going through the sign-up process. Farmers have to update base acres and yields, elect between the price loss coverage and agriculture risk coverage programs. Final step is signing up by calling or scheduling an appointment with a local farm service agency. There are still a lot of producers statewide that haven't enrolled their contracts. This first sign-up covers 2 years, and in order to participate in both, a farmer has to enroll for both.
And now, Chef Toby in the Genesis Healthy Heart Kitchen.
It's Friday, so we are in the kitchen offering up some great recipes that are also good for your heart in the Genesis Healthy Heart Kitchen. And joining us this morning, of course, Chef Toby from Woodfire Grill and Ken Crokin from the Genesis Heart Institute. Great to see you guys.
Good to be here.
Great to smell what you have cooking. It
Yeah.
smells
Well,
really good in here.
And you know, the chill in the air starts making people think about comfort foods.
You bet.
We're kind of back in the kitchen now, willing to turn the ovens on and all that sort of thing. So we've challenged Chef Toby to take a classic like shepherd's pie, normally made with mutton or something, some red meat or other, right?
Right.
And give it a healthy twist.
Okay.
So Toby, what do you got in mind?
Well, that's a pretty easy answer, actually. We're going to substitute, instead of the red meat, we're going to use turkey.
Right.
And as you know, Ken, that's one of your favorite heart-healthy
Oh, gosh, yeah.
meats. I'll let you elaborate on that.
Staple recipe for Ken. But when you think about shepherd's pie, of course, you think about the red meat, but
Right.
there's a lot of color in there, usually a lot of
Sure.
vegetables, which of course are healthy.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely.
This little shepherd's pie hack, we'll call it,
Okay.
and recipe hack, actually is hard to distinguish the difference between the red meat once this dish is actually complete.
Okay.
So, without further ado, Julie, would you like to start adding these ingredients, or Ken,
Sure.
are you my guinea pig today?
No,
No,
let's let
it
Julie
doesn't
do
matter.
it.
So what are we going olive oil, of course, in the pan
Right.
first, and then you want to add the carrots and the celery next to kind
Just to
of
be
cook that
safe and
down.
sanitary, of course,
Of
always
course.
here in the
Always.
Healthy Heart Kitchen.
Thank you,
We don't want
Chef.
any sort of cross-contamination going
No,
on.
Right.
definitely not. All right, so you tell me what to pour in there first.
All right, well, we're gonna brown off the turkey first. So
Okay.
we've got about 1.5 pounds of lean ground turkey, about 95% lean ground.
And if you didn't have ground turkey, like let's say you wanted to make this with leftovers from a turkey that you made, I mean, you could use any kind of turkey, really, right? Chunk
Oh,
the
yeah,
turkey
absolutely.
in there.
The classic shepherd's pie is chunks of meat, you know, rather than a ground. But this is either
It
way,
works,
great.
definitely,
Yeah.
but okay. So brown that
I
up.
actually did have a dream the other night that you could use shredded or pulled turkey.
Right.
Okay.
For instance, after like a Thanksgiving, which
Sure.
is coming up.
Yeah.
I literally dreamt this. It's kind of weird.
Really?
Yeah,
It's
I
like
hate my life
deja vu for
sometimes.
you.
Yeah, no, you
hate
can
your
use
life.
it in there and then layer the
You need much better
stuffing.
dreams, Toby.
Yeah,
You need
and
much
then
better dreams.
I know, Ken.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough.
But yeah, like you're saying, you could use the things you have around already. So you
Right,
could
exactly.
use the leftover stuffing and the leftover turkey and kind of use what you have on hand.
Exactly. Okay, so we were browning the turkey, and once that, we'll accelerate the process as always here.
Sure.
Since we've only got a few minutes, but we're going to take the hard vegetables first. So basically the mirepoix, the yellow onion, we've got some carrot and some celery that have been diced up.
Sure.
Thanks
That
to
in there.
Ken.
Yeah, you were over here hard at
Culinary
work this
skills.
morning.
Yeah.
Good. See you doing that this morning. So get all that in there.
We'll let those flavors all develop. Now, the other two vegetables that we're going to add into this mix are going to be some snow peas and some corn. We're not going to do that until later in the process, perhaps after the break,
Okay.
just because you don't want to add the peas in right away. They're going to shrivel up, and they're
Right.
pretty tender anyway. You don't want to overcook those.
Right.
We'll add to this a little bit of garlic, which also has some great health benefits.
You bet.
Which are, Ken?
Kick
Oh,
up
I
the
don't know.
Flavor.
How would I know?
Come on, Ken. You always give us the healthy information here.
Who are you representing?
And of course, that's going to give it that great flavor and kind of
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
that
And
in
probably
there.
keep your spouse away, too, depending on how much
what kind of
garlic
motive
that
you
put
have,
in
right?
there.
What
Right.
about your
exactly.
browning agent there, Toby? I think that's a real useful tip when you're working with a meat that's
Why
not
did I
red.
know you were going to bring that up? Well, a lot of times you'll find, and this actually will help disguise the turkey
Yeah.
as like a red meat, to be
Yeah.
honest. This is Kitchen Bouquet. It's a browning and seasoning sauce.
Okay.
Basically, it's going to turn like a gravy that might have just a slight brown color. It's going to turn it dark. You're not going to use a whole lot of this. It's almost like a food coloring.
Right.
But really
Okay.
isn't. It gives it a little bit of
Flavor, too.
hidden flavor as
Yeah.
well. But it definitely gives a better, more robust looking sauce. to
Okay,
it, so.
that's a little secret ingredient for you. We're going to go ahead and work on this dish a little bit more. We'll go to commercial, come back, and we'll throw it together. We'll show you the finished product just to make it heart healthy. Oh, so we're talking about all the different ingredients that we put in the pan. As that cooks up, we're talking a little bit about another secret
Right.
that you
Well,
have for us.
a component that we didn't show you because we're assuming that our viewers are very intelligent and smart while in the kitchen, the potato process. So we're not going to show you how to boil potatoes, this and that. So we've made the mashed potatoes right here. Now here's a nice little tip, little secret, little hack for this. Normally when you're doing like a shepherd's pie, you're either going to pipe the potatoes or you're going to layer it on top. Well, that can be a little cumbersome because depending on how creamy your potatoes really are, it's going to stick to the meat. It's kind of a process. So Julie, I'm going to show you a nice little trick here
Okay.
to avoid all of that. You're going to take a little bit of food spray. We're going to put it right down on there, and if you want to get your hands dirty, just go ahead and get right in there.
Okay, so is this
And-
parchment paper? Is that what you have here? Or?
Yep. You might
All
want to
right.
take about half of that.
Half of it? Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, just a little bit back in there.
Isn't that fun?
No,
Yeah,
right?
there you go.
I think you did that on purpose. I'm just kidding. All right, so you have it on here.
Right, and now depending on obviously the shape of the casserole dish or the pie tin in our
Right.
case that you're going to put it in, just go ahead and kind of mash that down
Okay.
in sort of a circular shape.
And this really does cut
Sort
down
of.
on the time because, you know, on a Tuesday night, you really don't want to stand around piping mashed potatoes onto a.
I know, who has time to do that,
on,
right?
you
I mean, Toby, of course, because
Well,
it's all
yeah,
about
I mean,
presentation, and you go to Wood Fire Grill, it looks wonderful, but in your own kitchen, yeah.
All right. Hey,
that
that's
about
pretty
right?
good.
I mean,
that
about
works.
right.
The right size?
Yeah.
That's about right.
All
There
right.
you go. So you're going to take your shepherd's pie mix and then basically put it into the tin.
I like
or
this too
into
because
your-
there's not a lot of dishes, really, if you think about
Okay.
it.
It's pretty much a one pan, one
Yeah.
saute pan
Mm-hmm.
dish, yeah. And then you take this
Whoa.
and you flip it over, pack it down, and voila.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
No messy painting it on there, anything like that. We'll top it with a little Parmesan cheese.
All right, yeah, Parmesan
And
on
then you
top,
would
then you throw it in
Finish
the
that
oven.
in the oven, like the one that we already have in there.
Yeah. I'm going to move this one out of the way so we can show
Careful,
the,
yeah.
the finished one. There we go.
And
Let
our
me get a nice
Parmesan
shot.
cheese
Oh.
has got a nice
Isn't that great?
That's what
golden
we've
color
been
to
smelling
that.
this morning.
Yeah.
That's a
great.
really nice, easy dish.
It
Great
really
for the whole
is.
family. Again, healthy because we've substituted
Right.
the turkey
And you
for
know,
the red meat.
the browning sauce really does make a huge difference in the perception. You know,
You're all about this browning sauce. You're just really intrigued. I'm going to get you your very own bottle.
well, you know,
of that.
ground turkey is not all that attractive.
No, that's true.
But this looks good, it smells
Yeah.
good, I'm sure it tastes good. You can find all the recipes on how to make it in your kitchen at WQAD.com. And the step-by-step instructions there as well. Thanks so much for
Good to
coming
see
in.
you.
I won't shake your hand,
Oh,
I got
right,
mashed
yeah.
potatoes all over them, but thanks for coming in, guys.
Okay, good to see you.
Traffic cameras on Good Morning Quad Cities are sponsored by Ace Muffler Clinic.
It is time for total travel. Time to look at the Centennial Bridge traffic this time. And you can see here, it's looking good. I mean, travel problems, not a concern here. Although we do want to remind you of the construction project there. Traffic down to 1 lane in each direction. As far as the regional airports are concerned, travel's looking good there as well. No delays or cancellations to report. And destinations across the country actually looking pretty good as well. There's a little rain in Chicago. Other than that, just some clouds at those destinations. You can expect some warm temperatures, of course, as you would expect in Las Vegas, 103, 100 in Phoenix. And we'll continue our live coverage from Bettendorf High School this morning as they're out there showing their school spirit early this morning. Bulldogs taking on PV this evening, but we're getting it all started early this morning. We're taking our show on the road. Eric will have the forecast and more fun with the students out there for our pregame pep rally. You're watching Good Morning Quad Cities.